When it comes to making a game, the developers usually have to write a lot of different characters into the game, but sometimes they leave the creation of the main character up to the player. Personally, I think this is a good thing for the most part. It allows a lot more player freedom than having a pre-made character. Having the developers make all the decisions about your character can lock you into a specific playstyle, and this can really suck if your character does or says things that you disagree with, or that you think should be done differently. In games like Skyrim, your character is a total blank slate, almost. Yeah, they've got the Dragonborn thing going on, but you can ignore that and play them however you like. It's up to you to decide if you want to be a mage, a thief, a warrior who swings a sword first and asks questions later, or a combination of all three. You can even choose what race they are and how they look. It's totally up to you. If you want, you can even make a character who looks like you and live out a power fantasy of being the most badass adventurer in the world. Or maybe you'd like to be someone else. Being able to create a custom character also allows for a lot of role-playing options. In Mass Effect, for example, you can be an asshole all the time. It might not be what you would really do in that situation, but it's fun, so why not? On that point though, Mass Effect is a little different than Skyrim, in the sense that you aren't creating a completely custom character. When creating your Shepard, you have to pick from a selection of pre-written backstories, and Shepard always has a military history, so he or she is not a blank slate for you to impress your personality onto. But you could argue that a game like that brings the player the best of both worlds. The same is true of Prey 2017, for instance. Morgan Yu is a fully fleshed out character with a history and relationships, but during the course of the game you get to make decisions about how he develops. You choose what skills and upgrades he gets, and the missions offer you various choices as well. In this way, you're creating a different Morgan Yu than other players. He or she is still Morgan, the scientist and researcher, but mine is also a master hacker, while yours solves problems with telepathic abilities. The fact that you can still make choices in the story also allows for you to roleplay your Morgan without depriving the player of an interesting, well-written story. Having said that, the use of a custom character in a game can sometimes cause the overall story to suffer. Sometimes it can be difficult for a developer to write a plot that works with multiple different character types. To sort of contradict what I said earlier about Skyrim, you can ignore the Dragonborn aspect, but you'll always know that it's there. Your character is always a Dragonborn, and that questline is always open to you. The point is, Skyrim never locks you out of any quests or anything because of the character type you play. Oblivion was the same, but even worse. It allowed you to play the Mage's Guild questline without ever even learning a spell. While this is great for player freedom, it takes away from the identity of your character. Because everything is open to you, like you can go and learn all the spells after you've mastered ranged and melee combat, it stops your character from feeling unique. Rather than a person who exists in that world, they become an amorphous blob that can change to suit the demands of the next quest. So I guess that what I'm trying to get at overall is that having a fully customizable character isn't always enough to get a player engaged in the game. It can break a player's immersion to know that every other player can play the game the exact same way despite having made unique characters. Maybe it does suck for characters to tell you you're not allowed into their guild, but if you're not a mage, it only makes sense. That's how it works in Morrowind, and that was a very immersive experience for me. The world needs to react accordingly for your character to feel real. After all, what's the point of making your own character if it doesn't feel like it belongs in that game world? So you may have noticed, I really like customizable characters. And in fact, I do think they're the better choice over pre-made characters, but not everyone feels the same. Check out my buddy Flusher's channel, where he has a video debating the exact opposite side of this debate.